Hi, my name is Mariah Mosqueda. Today I will be speaking about communication and culture. The purpose of this speech is to inform you all the differences of communication between cultures and how to be respectful of them and how to use them effectively. This speech has three main points. What is communication and culture? Types of communication and culture communication. How to communicate with communication and culture effectively. For our first point, communication and culture. Culture is described as the language that includes the values, beliefs, traditions, customs people share and learn. There's also something called co-culture, which is a group that is a part of a surrounding culture. Communication within these groups happen when they have something in common: sports, hobbies, movies, etc. However, some people have been asked if they would like to spend time with anybody outside of school, work, their sports, activities, stuff like that, from a different cultural background, and often their answers have been no because they are afraid of the awkward silence and the tension that may come with it because there is a difference in the cultural background and they may not have anything in common. And although that is a very real struggle and I totally understand, but people that spend time with someone from a different cultural background are far less likely to be more prejudiced towards them than those who don't. Types of communication and culture communication. For this main point, I have provided a board of pictures from different countries of people introducing themselves and greeting each other, as well as a few shops from Colombia that I was in May. In Italy, people, man or woman, greet each other with a slight kiss on the cheek. In China, they bow to each other. They actually find it disrespectful to make eye contact with someone that is above them, so they bow. In Africa, women bow to the men. And in America, we handshake. One that I forgot to provide on this board was Colombia, even though I went there in May. But I guess this one could kind of go for it too. When a man first walks into a room, they give a firm handshake to everybody, even if they don't know them. And then when a woman first walks into the room, they will give everybody a slight kiss on the cheek. Unless they don't know them, then they will either offer a handshake or just a little touch on the arm. Nothing too crazy. Now, for this point, there are two different types of cultures that describe communication. There is individualistic and then there is cultivistic. Individualistic cultures tend to view themselves as individuals that are dedicated to themselves. There's no real purpose to help anybody else but themselves. Collectivistic cultures, on the other hand, place a higher value on loyalty and obligations to an in-group. There is also such a thing as high and low context cultures. Members of low context cultures use language mainly to express thoughts, feelings, and ideas, as well as preferring to be more straightforward in their communication. High context cultures pay attention to nonverbal behaviors as their communication. They interpret meaning based on the context of a message that is being delivered. They also hold a higher standard of social harmony than direct communication. How to communicate with communication and culture effectively. To communicate in different cultures, we need to be sure to have an open mind. This allows for ambiguity and change. In order for us to communicate effectively, knowledge is super important to understanding communication in cultures. Being able to have enough knowledge of another culture and knowing which approach is correct for a certain situation is vital to communicating effectively. We can learn about these approaches and cultures when we spend time with people from a different culture. As I mentioned earlier, people choose not to take this route. because of the risk of it maybe being awkward. But if we do choose to spend more time with people from a different culture, it allows for an open mind and an opportunity for us to learn, grow, and make new friends, and it makes things easier to communicate effectively, to make your way around a new country, to make your way around a new school. So keeping an open mind and allowing for ambiguity, learning from people from a different cultural background, so hanging out with them, all will be very helpful in learning how to communicate effectively in these different places. Hopefully, by the end of this speech, you now have a better understanding of human communication and cultures and how to use them effectively and be respectful with them. I thank you all for listening to this speech, and I hope you guys learned a little more about communication and culture.